Hey, everybody, you have landed in Shally's Alley. This is it. You're in the dark alleys of talent acquisition and talent management and human resources and all that fun stuff. Happy July 3rd. It's a holiday in the United States for most people today because the 4th of July, happy birthday, America, 250th anniversary is coming up. And here we have this habit of celebrating on the Monday or Friday prior to or after the holiday, if the holiday happens to fall on a weekend, so that we still get our free day. So today is my free day, and I decided to spend it with you. You're probably watching this recording next week, though. So, anyways, welcome to the Alley. It's July 3rd. Today's guest, we have someone who has spent 15 years filling seats that most recruiters won't even touch. I mean, the seats. Wait, that sounded weird. Anyway, top secret cleared, national security grade, the kind of role where a bad hire isn't expensive, it's a liability. He's built one of the top recruiting podcasts in the game, nearly 500,000 downloads. And he just told me something like 18,000 downloads this month. So that's a lot. I don't think I've ever downloaded anything 18,000 times. And I don't think anybody's ever downloaded anything of mine more than 18,000 times. So in 1 month, he's got me beat. And he's been very public about AI, specifically what AI tools actually work versus the hot pile of garbage that vendors pitch at every freaking conference. I'm talking about Benjamin Mena, managing partner at Select Source Solutions. That's a triple S if you're watching, and host of the Elite Recruiter Podcast. That's eliterecruiterpodcast.com. Very aptly named. Benjamin, welcome to the Alley.
I am so excited to be here. The number one sourcing room in all of, I don't want to say America, but globally, right?
Probably, yeah. Yep, I'll take that. Because there's like 5 sourcers, so it's easy to do. Yeah.
But I just want to say, if you are actually watching this live, you are absolutely committed because in reality, as he said, today is a holiday.
I'm not working today. This is the only thing I'm doing that's in the office.
Oh man, I got meetings today. I completely forgot about it.
I canceled them all. I had them on my calendar and I was like, hey, yo, it's freaking 4th of July. Like, give me a break.
So I had some meetings with clients and all of a sudden, like Tuesday, Wednesday, they're like, hey, I need to reschedule for next week. I need to reschedule for next week. Yeah. I was like, what the hell is going on? You know, when you have your own business, like
you just book
the holiday, and but you just keep moving.
Yep. That's what happened with me. I had them booked and then I was like, well, I'm so sorry, but I'm not going to be around. I'll stay in the office if you want, if it's really important. But most people were like, oh, no, it's fine. Because they probably forgot to.
Totally.
Oh, man.
It happens every holiday. But so if you're watching the replay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Excited that you're
going to say.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Before we jump in, you're running a full desk in GovCon, government contracting. Yep. And you're pumping out a podcast that's got 500,000 downloads. 60 seconds. How the hell did you get there and still do both? Well, I guess the question is, why are you still doing both?
Okay, hey, Shally, I'm sure you understand that podcasting doesn't fully pay the bills.
What? Dude, I make $1 million a year on this. No, I don't.
Well, teach me your ways.
No,
teach me your ways.
Completely.
I am a young Padawan.
This is so
Jedi
free.
Master.
This costs me money, bro. I spend money. It's like a $5,000 a year expense to do the podcast, but I just write it down, in my taxes as like marketing expense because I mean, I make no money. So, but I mean, it's a busy life. So how did you end up with, full desk? I've been there. I know what that means. I know the 80-hour work week of a full desk and then the podcast, like what balance that out for me.
So I'll just say this. Sometimes behind the scenes, it feels like I do nothing that great or nothing well because I do so much spinning. Right. Yeah, because I'm doing so many things. So, but yeah, like we have some amazing clients that we absolutely love that have been key to our business. So let me set that frame there. 2, like there's like I hate to say this, like we probably work a lot. Like my off time is me hanging out on a podcast or me like working on something with a podcast. So
okay, fair enough.
Like it's I joked around with Scott Love before I left. I was like, hey, I realized in the past few years of living in Richmond, I think I've only been out for drinks like 5 times, and 3 of those have been with you.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, that explains it. So let's jump in, right? I went to the last time I was in Las Vegas. I honestly can't remember what the date was. It was a couple of years ago, but it's always fun to go to Las Vegas and go to one of those at least once, just for the experience of it. To go to one of those like all you can eat buffets that have like the extravagant food, unlimited lobster, unlimited crab claws, and prime rib and stuff like that. But every once in a while, you get one of those that is like, why have I made this extremely bad decision in buffet choices? And you have called AI in recruiting a bad buffet. Too many choices. Most of them don't really fill your need. That's a pretty bold statement. What's broken about how our industry is consuming AI right now?
I mean, the broken thing is like there's so many, and I love. First of all, let me just say this: there are AI software tools that work. There are AI software tools that they are so good. They're so good on the demo. They look pretty, and then you actually start using them, and you're like, why did I just commit a year?
And that's the majority of them, by the way. So.
And I'm like, go ahead and cancel me right now so it doesn't auto renew, because I do not want to deal with this another year. I mean, so here's the thing: just a year and a half ago, all you needed was an awesome software developer to add a pretty UI and UX on top of a Chat GPT wrapper. Make it a Chat GPT wrapper.
Yep.
Cool.
And that's basically what they've been doing for the last year and a half.
And now with Claude and Claude Code and Lovable, like you can create your own now. Like you can
really just can sell it. Doesn't mean it works.
It doesn't mean it sell it, but also half the time, like you don't need to build it to sell it. Just build whatever you freaking need, and we're gonna go pay for 25, 50, 60, $100 a month for.
So I don't want to disparage anybody, okay, or any vendor or anything like that. So avoiding don't name names, but give me a hard example of the last tool that you actually cut from your stack, like you just said. You don't have to tell me the name of it, but like what was it and what did it do? Without I don't want to bruise anybody's ego, but give me an example. Like you tried it, you bought it, you tried it, and then you're like, oh my god.
I mean, there's a lot of like sourcing tools when it comes to like everybody now has a sourcing tool.
And you try it,
you try it, and you're like, okay, I get it. It's the same 5 data providers, and there are great sourcing tools. Like I use one like literally every single day, and I absolutely love them.
But it's the same 5 data providers. So that's what's wrong, is that all these are surface tools using the same backend data, is what you're saying.
And it's like figuring like. The good ones have figured out a way to help you search through the data for the people that you need, and they're pulling in more and more data sources and refreshing the data constantly.
Okay. Well, in my opinion, there is only one tool in the entire market right now that actually has a source of data that nobody else has, because what you're saying is spot on. Almost all of them use the same sources. A few of them use fewer of the sources. A few of them actually just use LinkedIn with ChatGPT wrapper on it. And there's some that are trying to do a little bit more than that, but there's only one out there that I continue to back, and actually has deep web search capabilities, the same as a sourcer would normally do. It is doing the search for you real time, doing the deep web search for you. It's not a database. Right?
Which one is it?
Oh, yeah. I wasn't going to name it. Provenbase.com. Okay. That's the one. Yeah. But so what I'm saying is that has a unique set of data because it doesn't have a unique set of data, right? It scrapes other stuff like they all do. So it has the same 5 sources, but on top of that, it also enriches it with like other companies used to back in the day. It is actually enriching it with their own. And they recently launched, for example, this deep search for contact information. So when you find a contact, let's say you found them on the regular data set of LinkedIn, and you click on the find emails, which they buy them, by the way. They go out and they pay $1, $2 for that. So it's legit, purchased, but it comes back blank because it didn't find it. There's a second step, which is deep web search, and it'll go out and do the same thing I do manually, which takes me 15, 20 minutes, and it'll do that for you and bring it back. So that's the only one that's out there that does that. Everybody else uses the same data. So aside from sourcing, what categories actually deliver to you and your clients real ROI? Is it scoring? Is it screening? Is it voice agent? Like, what is the category that just established isn't sourcing because it's really hit or miss?
I mean, for me, it's
really
one of this is going to sound so basic, but it's the interview note taker behind the scenes.
The interview what for?
The interview note taker behind the
The
scenes.
note taker. The
So when I'm having like
transcriber.
The transcriber, when I'm having like a high level conversation, and like my handwriting is just absolutely crappy. Like this is a Post-it note. Like this is my handwriting.
Oh, you used to be a doctor.
Pretty much. I did the wrong field. So like I get done with some of these like you know, gonna be later on this afternoon. I actually have a call with a COO in the GovCon space. So he's looking for a new position, wants to work with me on the search. I get to have the time, effort, and energy focused directly on him instead of sitting there taking notes.
Right.
Yep. So it's like the one-on-one conversation. And
but right doesn't just like, I mean, Drag and Dictate used to do that before AI. So what is it that's really the special sauce of it? What makes one note taker the bomb versus another one?
I don't see a difference in the note takers.
Okay. So you're just saying AI note taker is the killer app, not a specific one. Okay. What about any of the other ones? Are there any of the other ones like really delivering value for you? Any of the like, I don't know, streaming, interviewing, social media agents, video generator, any of those? Not really.
Not really. Like they're fun to play with. Like, I mean, I use,
but the ROI is just not quite there.
I mean, like there is ROI for the content and being omnipresent on LinkedIn. There is like, but I can't sit there and really like give you a number for that. But that has constantly brought in business for us. But when it comes down to like, you know, there's just so many tools out there, and you can play, you could literally go broke. I'm seeing actually a lot of recruiters losing their momentum, making less money because they're constantly trying every single new tool.
It's addictive. Yeah.
And like I'm hosting an AI recruiting summit in 2 weeks, all focused on AI tech. And at the end of the day, like I'm happy with Claude. I'm happy with my interview note taker that's attached to my ATS. So like all the data is like easily pulled and like figured in there.
That makes sense.
You know, I'm happy with, you know, my sourcing tool pin, and then some outbound stuff. Like even though I'm talking about all this stuff and showcasing all these companies, at the end of the day, like, you know, maybe something that I might add on there is some of the AI MPC tools.
Yeah,
you could drop a resume in there. It'll go figure out
the MPCs. That's where it's at for me because I'm definitely using Claude as my orchestrator. It's kind of like my chief of staff when I'm online. It's not the one that I use for offline. For offline, I use Victor because it does all the things Claude can't do while I'm offline. And I got tired of trying to run dispatch through Claude. And I also have a lot of reservations about anything that runs offline, unsupervised on a machine, like the people that are doing open.
So you're talking about MCPs. I'm talking about MPCs.
MCPs.
So
am I less Dixic?
So most placeable candidate.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were saying MPCs.
Yeah. Sorry, maybe I said it wrong, but yeah. Like,
okay. So how do you do AI for that?
So there's ways of doing it in Claude, and like there are workthroughs and this kind of stuff, but there are also AI tools now that you literally take a resume of somebody that you had a conversation with that you think is absolutely awesome. You drop the resume into these platforms, and what it does,
this resume,
it'll actually figure out, you know, based on their job, based on your call notes, places that this person would be a great place to pitch to. It'll figure out the hiring managers of those companies, find their emails, and write a personalized message with your MPC, stuff that you are already going to be doing anyways. So like, I would say maybe that's like one of the funner ones recently, but like there's so much out there that looks sexy, that feels sexy.
Yeah, I try a lot. Well, my job is to try a lot of stuff because I write about it and I test it and then I use it. When I adopt it and when I adopt it and do it, that's when I talk about it. So I test a lot, but I don't mention them unless I'm using them. Like Proven Base, I use every day. And you know, so I've got a couple of others, but I've seen you talk about like Appify into N8N, into Clay, into Apollo, into Lemlist, you know, and I have all of those and I plug into all of those. But about 2 weeks ago, I went through this exercise where I used Rocket Money for my finance management and personal finances. And I went in there and it was like, hey, do you want to look at your recurring bills? And I'm like, sure. And of course you got your Netflix and I'm like, wait a minute, what's this? What's that? What's it? And I added it up. I was dropping $500 a month in just, you know, $20 here, $20, like all these. And I just canceled like 90% of them, like you talked about. But I want to kind of dig into that sort of like you were pretty public about connecting this. And I'm 100% behind that. Connecting the stack, right? Again, we don't have to name tools, but what's a stack step by step that really works? So you've got your note taker. So at that intake meeting, you've got your note taker. The candidate phone screen, you got your note taker. So that's one. You've got your sourcing tool, which, whatever, it works, doesn't work. So let's say you got your sourcing tool that works, then you got your note taker. Then do you have anything else that's automated, the technology, or at that point that gets you far enough to where you just are going manual?
I mean, that's like far enough. That's far enough for me. Like,
okay.
If we were looking at constantly chasing new business, I'd probably have a little bit of that Clay integrated with Apify, integrated with Claude, and have that like put together and working with instantly. Like I would have that, but one of the things I think that
Clay is getting a lot of buzz. Yeah.
I mean, but also like Clay's now also, it's like trying to figure out what's new, because also Clay's like kind of like not as cool anymore, even though it still is cool. They
all try to they start somewhere, they get good at that, and then they try to grow. Have you seen, let me ask you this, have you seen, somebody just posted this, have you seen Super Carl?
No.
Oh man, supercarl.ai, supercarl.ai. You got to try this. So this has been, it blew me away. And let me tell you what I do with it that is so incredible. This is like, do you remember back in the day when LinkedIn was really truly a valuable tool, and it helped you connect with people, like a friend of a friend, second degree, third degree, right? And
remember like the Lion days?
Yeah, exactly. LinkedIn Lions. I have 500 connections. Really? I've got 60,000. But there was value in. I used to get people saying, "Hey, Shally, Benjamin? Can you do it? Can you introduce me?" Stuff like that. That's gone. It's completely gone.
Well, Shally, who's Benjamin?
Exactly. Super Carl has not only brought that back, but what they did is, first of all, they have all original data through partnerships. It's not a scrape. It's non-scrape data. Supercarl.ai. I'm going to put that in here. But the important part is it's the sinew that connects the human aspect of it. So it's about finding the warm path introduction, and it's about signal detection. So I use it on Claude to constantly scan every week and hunt for signals of people that are writing opinionated posts about our industry that I can invite to Shally's Alley. It is how I find my guests, basically. So it gives me the signal, and then it helps me with the introduction. If it's someone I already know, it'll automatically send them a message through LinkedIn or email. And if it's someone I don't know, it'll find the warm path intro. So what I really love about it is it's not just a replacement for LinkedIn data-wise, but it's the connectivity. It's the signal intelligence that we've been completely missing. You know how don't you get that feeling that we've just been missing that?
Oh my! If you like, I mean, it's one of those things. Like, I love LinkedIn so much, but hopping on there, if I see somebody's post or see something like, oh wait, I need to see something, and then it refreshes, and I'm like, oh crap! It was Michael F. Michael.
Yeah,
there's like
and then
17 Michael F's I'm connected with, and I'm like,
and then it's gone forever.
Yeah. I love how they have the free plan, the $8 a month plan.
It's free. Yeah, Super Carl is free.
$99 a month.
Yeah, you can start for free, but then if you start using it, then yeah, you definitely are going to see where the value is, and it either works for you or it doesn't. But you want to try it. I do most of it through MCP. I've experimented with all the things that are internal, but yesterday they launched a new thing that I haven't tried yet, which is a quick search or quick find, I think they call it. But anyways, so my point is, it's a tool like that is really different, and it's really game changer. So Proven Base has the deep search discovery that's really special and unique, and then Super Carl helps you do things like you can do reference checking of candidates. A couple of days ago, I said, build me an org chart. Do you remember org charts? Right?
Yeah.
I'm like, build me an org chart of this
lost
department.
art.
Yeah, and it built me an org chart. Now it's in text because it was like head, subhead, dash, director, dash, like that. But once I had that, I fed that into ChatGPT and said, put this into a PowerPoint, and boom. Anyway, so
your AI
like
tool make this look pretty for me.
That is, it's what you said?
I said, dear AI tool, make this look pretty for me.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So I got a little bit distracted because I got excited about SuperCloud. The whole point of that was, what was the other part of the stack? And so that's kind of where your ROI ends right now. So you got your note taker, your sourcing, your note taker, and your MCP.
I will say,
MPC, most placeable candidate, right? And then something like Supercard.
I use AI a lot for content.
Tasks.
Not tasks, content.
Writing content? Generating content?
Generating content.
Generating, okay. And it doesn't do sort of like blah, mediocre stuff?
I mean, I think when you like start working with, like when you're sitting in Claude, maybe sometimes 100 times a day, it's like you're teaching it without realizing you're teaching it.
Yeah. So it's learning is what you're saying.
Yeah. So it's I mean, it's also one of those things, like when you have a podcast, when you have a desk, like you have all this like content from a podcast, but you only have so much time to work with it. So, you know, I have like Claude build me carousels around it. I have like, that's pretty good. I have an idea about a post. Like I'll start it off and like, hey, Claude, like, you know, and add in the transcript of the podcast and like, hey, here's where I want to go with this. Like, here's my starting points. Like, what am I missing? What do I need to add in there? Because so often, sometimes you do a podcast, it goes live 2 months later. It's not like the refresher of the interview. Like, oh yeah, oh wait, oh my God, like Danny Cahill did say that. Like, or like, you know, Brian Fink said that. Like, I completely forgot about that because I've had 17 other interviews between now and that point and then. So like, it does help with the content. I think that's like a thing that recruiters need to get better at in 2026 is content.
Is writing content, because that's how you start getting that, you know, that's how the phone rings, right?
It's how the phone rings. Like, and I think it's one of those things, whether you're internal or external, like you have to, this is 2026, you have to carve a brand. I hate to say that. Like, I truly wish our work spoke for ourselves. Like every recruiter that's actually watching this, whether it's like right now live, or if this is like 2 weeks from now, like if you're spending the time watching this, you're probably one of the best damn recruiters there is out there. You're actively learning, you're actively working, you know what the hell is going on. But the problem is, so often in many rooms, your name is not being recognized. Your name isn't being called up. Yeah. It's like another recruiter that is a little more visible than you, that is getting the damn job, whether it's...
It used to be who you know, and now it's who knows you.
It's who knows you.
Yeah.
And so,
so what is the value today? I mean, that's something you talk about, right? So what is the true value of a recruiter today?
I mean, first of all, like, I think we need to like stop and assess what a recruiter actually does.
Yeah, let's do that.
So let's pause. What's a recruiter actually do? A recruiter's job is to fill positions for a company. Cool, simple as that.
Okay.
But you got to take it a little deeper than that. You're not just filling a position at a company. Like, Shally, give me an industry real quick. Give me an industry outside of GovCon, because
semiconductors.
Okay, so you are a recruiter in the semiconductor industry. Do you know what, like, the big growth that you have helped create in the economy? Do you know like the AI tools that you are helping build and the AI companies that you're helping build, because you are recruiting the best engineers to work on a single semiconductor? Like, if you don't find those people,
the business doesn't happen.
The business doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And so like we talk about that, but also like, do you know how many lives like recruiting is probably one of the careers, and we forget this because so often we're like meetings, we got to fill positions, we got this, we got interviews, we have so much on our plate that we forget that we are actively changing lives.
We're changing lives. Single hire we make. That's right. You are giving somebody an opportunity that, I mean, you may not have created the opportunity, the employer created the opportunity, but you are making that connection, and that person now has an opportunity to get ahead with their life, to, you know, whether it's a career move or make more money or travel less or be more with family, but it's a moving forward step. So yeah, that's huge. You really are changing lives. And you know what? I also want to add to that, because that's inspiring, but I mean, I shouldn't say, but that's inspiring. And we learn so much as recruiters about business that it's the easiest way to get a super MBA. Forget Harvard and Yale, man. I've learned about every department in an organization: procurement, risk, treasury, security, IT security, physical security. I mean, I've learned so much about, because you get embedded in it, you talk to the hiring managers, you talk to the candidates. So it's not just changing lives, it's also getting a really good education in business.
And I think so often as recruiters, like, it's our job as a recruiter to stay in this little box. No, it's your job as a recruiter to become the consultant for whatever company you're supporting. You know the market intel. You know how the market feels. Like, you're the one sitting there so often telling a director exactly like who to hire, how to hire, but at the same time, like, tell them not to hire. Like, okay, why do you have this position? Like, okay, you feel like you need it, but have you, like, I know your team so well. Have you looked at this person over here? Because I hired them 4 months ago.
Right. Oh, this is funny. Valuetainment. I love that. Valuetainment.
The shark. Oh my God. Have you had the shark on? He's the best.
I'm gonna steal that valuetainment. Valuetainment. I've never heard that before. That's awesome.
But it's so often like, and I think it's like, it really is like, we have this energy and we have this like passion and everything in the first few years. And then so often, so many of us just lose it. And you have to sit down and figure it out again. And if you don't figure it out, the world is going to beat the shit out of you. So you have to like reabsorb, reassess, and realize the impact that you make. How many lives, like, if you're listening to this, how many positions have you filled in the last year? 5?
Put it in the chat.
25? 100?
So, I mean, if you work in healthcare nursing, probably 300, 400.
I mean, and here's another
way to
think about.
CEO searches, maybe 10, but you know.
Here's another angle to think about. Okay, so you've made 25 hires, or
that's 25 lives changed.
25 lives changed, but what is the salary for all those people combined for the year?
It's in the millions.
So like thinking like you like literally, here's something that you could talk about.
Economic value, yeah.
I like the economic value, and I would, for economic value, I would do 2x the salary. So if you helped $5 million in salaries this year, you have literally an economic impact of $10 million. You little Mr. Recruiter, or Mrs. Recruiter, or Miss Recruiter, you have this year, with all the hiring that you've done and all the lives you changed, an economic value of about $5 to $10 million.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. I'm inspired. That's awesome. I'm going to start adding that up right now. Hold on a second. I'm going to get my calculator. Wait, hey, Claude.
I mean, but so often we forget the impact.
I forgot. Yeah, you're right.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And when you know the impact that you make, you can walk into a room with better confidence, walk into a room with more ownership, walk into a room because you know exactly what you bring to the table.
Companies better. You put that engineer on the chip that became the chip that changed the industry, that launched a new product. Yeah, I got it. I
mean, and like, it's easy for me to say it in the GovCon space because a wrong hire gets Americans killed.
Right.
But you know, if you were in the medical space, you hire that doctor that saved somebody's life. If you're in that software space, you made that right engineer that had the trajectory that they kept going, and you kept your job, even if it's that basic.
Yeah, you still had an impact. So tell me this. You've interviewed hundreds of top billers. For those of you that are not in the search firm staffing side and are strictly corporate, a top biller or a biller in the staffing world is the person that makes the most amount of salary placements. So in other words, it's like you add up all the salaries. Let's say you place 100 people at 100,000, then it's a $10 million biller. So explaining that, you've interviewed all these. Forget AI, forget the tool. It doesn't matter what it is. Is there one thing that you've found, or that most of them have, that is what separates $1 million biller from the rest of the pack?
So there are a few things.
There's a few things. Okay.
Like, I would say, important, like the work ethic behind it.
Okay. So they have the work ethic.
They have the work ethic. They have the conversation.
Which, by the way, I want to say that doesn't mean you work 120 hours.
No, actually, some of these top billers work less than an average biller.
Right. So the work ethic, explain the work ethic then. So for folks I don't want folks to think, oh, well, gee, I don't have 120 hours to work every week. Yeah. It's not the work hours.
They know where to work that's closest to the dollar bill to help close a deal.
It's focusing on the outcomes.
Get a match made.
And when you show up to work, you show up to do work. You don't show up to work and then.
Talk about showing up to work. Like so most of the top billers finish the day making a plan for the next day, so that way when they walk in, it's game mode. While most people spend the entire day figuring out what they're
gonna do, right?
But I've actually been kind of like studying this, and I did this for a talk about a week ago. But what you're seeing now, and I think it's a combination of just the way the market's moving and maturing and AI and all that stuff. You're seeing the playbook of like companies are no longer, and I think this is happening for internal recruiters too. Like they're no longer looking for just a recruiter; they are looking for the recruiter. The recruiter that owns the market.
Okay.
Like, especially if you're in a startup or if you're in anywhere, if you're in a GovCon space, what do you want to hire? Do you want to hire a recruiter that's just like a TA person, or do you want to hire that somebody that's been like publicly specializing that they're in the GovCon space for the past decade and talking about the placements that they've made?
They know the industry, they know the sector. So isn't that similar to, the old staffing firm adage of the magic Rolodex, that you have the Rolodex, you have the connections? Isn't that kind of the modern equivalent of that? It's not a Rolodex, but or is something different.
But now there are different ways for different people and their different strengths to own the market. So if you're like a quiet person, like guess what? If you get to know 200 people really damn well, guess what? You're going to own that entire space. There's people that are taking over the market by just pure data, like becoming like data, like a capture place. There's people that own the market. Like you have to figure out what your strength is and whatever your archetype is to capitalize that market to become the go-to recruiter, not the recruiter. And what you see right now is a lot of like, don't know when to hire this. What you're seeing now is a lot of like companies that are just like attracted to like the person showing the most value, the person that's like a little bit the loudest in the space, the person that's constantly adding value. And I'm seeing that with even internal recruiters that are getting job after job after job. And then you see like 2,000 other recruiters on LinkedIn complaining about not being able to get a call.
And that's the difference, is they haven't specialized, or they don't, or maybe they have specialized, but they're not communicating that, or it's not coming through.
It's not coming through. They haven't been. I hate to say this, like projecting. How many experts do you know in the field? Like this is. I hate this example. This is going to be a total off the walls. But if you have a PhD expert that has about 25 years in a space that knows exactly what the hell they're doing, might even have a Nobel Prize, has a bunch of papers to their name, and then you see somebody on Instagram or TikTok or whatever talking about that for 1 year, who's going to have the most reach? Who knows the most? Who has the most reach? And who, with a person that has the most reach, unfortunately, they have more of an influence and an impact than the person that has all the specialty,
but
hasn't shared.
Have the reach, right? So talk a little bit about the cleared government contracting world. What does it look like right now? Last person that I had on the show was someone that actually, Mike Bruni, I don't know if you know him, but he's definitely big into the space. But it's been a while since he's been here. So bring me up to speed on the GovCon side of things. I work in that space, but it's I work in science. So a lot of the stuff that we do is, it's very long term. Like we're putting people into systems that are going to be the system that people talk about 20 years from now. So it's very different. What's going on in your side, the cleared and government contract world? What's it look like?
One side, it's like people scream that it's like going sideways, but at the same time, like you see all these government contracts still operating. They still need to be filled. They still need let me just tell you a little dirty little secret about like government contracting.
Yeah.
I would say about 95% of government contracting, the companies that you're supporting, all they are is just gigantic complex staffing firms that they just don't realize they are.
They're pass-throughs. Yeah. So they're called the prime contractors. Your big government contractors, they're basically putting people into projects that are
they're staffing. And Doge created some craziness in the scene for a little while. That settled down. Anytime there's an election, like we played for this. Like anytime there's an election, like things go
always
one way this way, that way over here.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like The government is still
even in my slow moving science space, we still plan for that as well, because we know that there's going to be, and it's you're right about one thing that is very invisible to people. A lot of times they literally just rename a project because it's still the same thing. It just called, it used to be green energy was cool, and then they killed green energy, and now green energy is not cool, but sustainable energy is. Okay, what's the difference?
They exited climate and green energy.
It's not clean. It's just sustainable. Oh, okay, all right. The same people doing the work.
It's approved. There we go. Here's another 5 years.
Sustainable. This is that. Yeah, the clean energy that doesn't exist. Yeah, and then it's going to be like I don't know, renewable energy or whatever. It just that's how it is. But what? So in particular, is it manufacturing? Is it electronics? Is it science? Is it AI? What's the thing that's moving the most?
The thing that's moving the most.
If you were advising a fresh recruiter that was going to get into a specialty, what would that specialty be in this space?
Would it be space?
Yeah, would it be around the electronics, construction, startups?
Tech startups.
So like AI and computing and stuff.
But all focus on government contracting.
Okay.
Because right now, those are the places that have the absolute fastest growth.
Okay.
Like those are the ones making like some of the legacy integrators, the big dogs, like look like ancient, which they are. So the gov tech space is moving so fast. Right now, the current administration is like investing dollars in that. Also sometimes see where somebody's connected because that has an impact on our growth, but that's a whole other thing. That's how the industry moves even before the current administration. But for a brand new recruiter, I would advise them to go defense tech or gov tech, or in the startup space. They're just actively chasing those government contracts.
Okay, that's good advice. All right, cool.
Here's the thing: think about this: like a startup in Silicon Valley. How many of them are fighting for $1 million?
I mean, if there's 20 fighting for $1 million, 19 of them will get $500,000. 8 of them will get nothing and go out of business, and 1 of them will get $1 million. But how many of those are there? I have no idea.
The thing in the GovCon startup world,
they're all getting $1 million.
The checks that these are getting are 25 to 50 million.
Okay. All
to go build something out.
Sold, man. I'm closing all my businesses now and moving into that space. That's pretty compelling.
I mean, look at the trajectory of Anne Arundel.
Okay.
I think they're now 10,000 people, but in what, 5 years?
Wow, that's pretty fast.
Yeah, look at I know SpaceX just went IPO, but they're a government contractor too. Look how fast they've grown.
Right.
I mean, and there's so many different AI focus and AI tools working in the government sector, and the government is willing to spend money.
Okay, so the government is willing to spend money. You sit at the intersection of AI, active recruiting, agency, community building. You have a conference coming up in AI. What's the single most important thing that a recruiter needs to do right now to stay relevant in the next 12 months? That most of them aren't doing. So what's the single most important thing that most aren't doing?
This is going to sound bad, but nothing to do with AI.
That's fine. Yeah. I mean, you're in the intersection of all of this. So what is it?
They need to start publicly talking about what they're doing and their wins at minimum 3 times a week.
So you're not saying go brag about, oh, I'm the best, but you're saying legitimate content that adds value and having conversations publicly and openly about what you do and how you do it and what you know and what you learn. So it's almost like they call it, what's that word in startups? It's like the open founder, whatever, they're founders that almost blog daily about their trials and tribulations. And what's that called? I forgot the name of it.
It's like building in public. I know what you're talking about.
Building in public. So you're saying as a recruiter, recruit in public, obviously with, privacy of the candidates you're working with, but you're saying that's the thing.
And here's the thing, you don't even have to create the content. All you have to do is capture what the hell you're doing.
Curate it, right? I talked about that for a long time before. Create versus curate. Content creation and content curation are side by side. If you can continuously create content, you've got something, but it's really hard to do, especially continuously and consistently, So in between the continuously creating, the way to fill the mortar that fills the gap and holds your brick wall together to stand up your infrastructure is curating. So you can have one good piece every so often that's yours, and the rest of it is your opinion on somebody else's piece. And what people are listening to is they value your take on it. So I call it I think this comes from improv, the yes and or the yes but. So you see an article out there that you like, that hits you in your industry, you go, this is a great article. Let me tell you what I think. I think I agree with this article and I have something else to add. Or I agree with this article, but here's one thing I don't agree with. And it's not confrontational, it's just additive. See, if you do that, that's still your content, but you didn't have to come up with all the work of researching. These posts are pretty intense.
And here's the thing, go ahead. I'm not talking about doing something crazy. Even if you get like 1 or 2 comments per or 1 or 2 likes. But here's the thing: if you show up every single day, your network starts to recognize who you are. Like the beautiful thing in the GovCon space, I don't talk about government contracting enough. I'll be honest about that. I need to a lot more. But if you are in my network and you are in the GovCon space, the second you log on to LinkedIn, I am on LinkedIn so much creating content, it is 100% guarantee that you see my face. So every single time that you log on to LinkedIn, year after year after year, you know exactly who I am. And that creates inbound. I mean, let me take a step this way. I'm not a very good, I suck at bragging. I suck at self-promotion. But Shally, how did you hear about me?
Yeah, we knew each other, didn't we?
Like way back when.
Oh,
we
way
have.
Back when?
We've known about each other for a while, but in reality, I'm probably here today because of a podcast, right? That I have.
Actually, you were recommended. So I asked my guests, I used to ask during the podcast, but lately I've been saving the room for the podcast to do like other things. So after the podcast, I'll message people, be like, here's the episode. And I'd love it if you introduce me to somebody that, you would recommend. And so, and somebody recommended you, and I'm like, oh yeah, I know him. So it was like, we already knew each other, but they recommended you. So that bubbled you back up. So it's very possible that they recommended you because they saw your podcast. I mean, I'm going to agree with you on that.
I mean, here's the thing about a podcast. I spend my entire time actually promoting somebody else. I'm highlighting somebody else's story.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I do it so often, and I touch so many different networks because of every single person I share. Every time you shine the light back on somebody else, a little bit of the light shines back on you.
That is so true. You need to repeat that every time. Repeat that. That's
so
classic.
Every time you shine a light onto somebody else, a little bit of it gets shined back on you. And if you do that enough over and over again, you do become a quote unquote expert in the space. Even if you don't want to be, or if you don't try, you're doing it without being the loud, everything's about me. So
I love that.
One of the things a long time ago when I suck at creating content, I feel like nothing's original, which is why I'm better at just asking questions instead of getting out of the way. But I actually made for an entire year. I did this for a full year up until the last Friday of the year, a follow Friday. So I grabbed 3 to 5 recruiters and I said, you need to follow LinkedIn. This is why I believe that you should follow this person.
That's
and I
awesome.
Did that every Friday.
Where'd you stop?
Just time.
Just over time,
time. I mean,
you'd recommended everybody you would recommend, and so now you.
It's the podcast is a lot of the recommendation engine now.
Yeah.
But I was just hey, it wasn't about me. Hey, these are really good people, and this is why I believe that you should follow them.
That's pretty awesome. I like that.
And I see good people doing that, whatever niche you're in, whether in your GovCon, whether you're in science, hey,
right. So it's not
your competitors, tag them, they're awesome too. You never know when a competitor might become your friend.
Well, you never know when your competitor might hire you or you hire them or what. I mean, yeah. There's definitely it's the collective mindset of abundance, speaks to the fact that there's plenty of business for all of us. If we work together, usually when you cooperate and collaborate, you gain more than when you fiercely compete and shut people out. So I've gained more in my life, 30 years doing this in this space. I've gained more by sharing things that others keep to their, keep close to their vest. Other people would be like, why would you share that? That's the secret sauce. I share the secret sauce because if this was food, it's kind of like my mindset is, this is a really good dish. I think other people should try this dish. And as much as I would like to cook for everyone, there's no way I can do that, and I'm not in the business of, I don't have a restaurant, and so why not share the recipe? Right?
Shally, you're also in a place where
that's
people love you, people respect you, and people learn from you. And I wonder how many careers that you've helped change based on the knowledge that you've shared over the years. Like, you're literally probably like helping somebody walk into an interview, like, oh yeah, like make them sound like incredible, but they're like, man, I just listened to this like 2 weeks ago on Shally's podcast.
I get messages like that a lot. It's a big part of why I continue to do this, even though it doesn't make me any money, is because the reward that I get is the impact on, similar to, I think, a lot of people who are in the business of teaching, whether it's a college professor or high school, whatever. A lot of times teachers don't get paid what they should be paid, but they do it because they see the impact that has, and that has a lasting and enduring effect. So for me, when people have come up to me and have said, you made my career, time and time again, that's not why I do it. It's validating when I get that back. It's not why I do it. I do it because I think everybody should taste this dish, right? But if you took my recipe and became a world-known chef, the absolute best thing you could possibly do would be to give me a hat tip and say, this is my recipe, but I got it from Shally and then I made it better. Because that is you improving on what I did, is honoring me. Like you said, shining a light on other people. What I cannot stand is when somebody takes my recipe and claims it as their own and pretends that they invented that recipe. Because to me, that's like, I gave it freely, so all you have to do in return is mention me. I don't require that, but that's all you have to do. That's the only requirement. So you're not stealing because I gave it, right? You can't steal what is given. But when you don't honor that, then it is stealing, and what you're stealing is something bigger and more meaningful from everybody else. You're now lying to people about your capability, which I think that's the worst part of it. Not that they're stealing from me, but that they're going out there pretending that they know something. And this comes up. Let me tell you, I've been in conferences where the speaker gets asked a question about something that they're presenting that they stole from me, right? And they get asked the question and they can't answer the question. They sort of, swim around it. And I'm just sitting there going, yeah, you see, that's why you can't claim. If I said I learned this from Benjamin and somebody asked me a question, I'll be like, you know what? I don't know. I got to ask Benjamin. That's fine. But if somebody asks me a question about something I claim is mine and I can't answer it.
Here, let me ask you this. Those people that have like kind of copied you or stolen something from you, never gave you credit. They got into a stage once or twice, but are they still around?
Most of them aren't.
Long game.
Some of them are. Some of them aren't. They're still doing it. But most of them aren't.
Long game.
Yeah, it is a long game. That's absolutely right.
I mean,
but again, that's not why I do it. So I'm glad that thank you for honoring me for bringing that up, because it's hard for me to talk about that. I don't like it like you. I don't like talking about myself. But it's important for folks out there to know that the reason that I share all this is because I want to. And if you use it, that's why I'm doing it. And all you have to do is just point back to me. That's it. That's the thank you that I need, is you saying, hey, look at this post from Shally. That's perfect. Just don't pretend that it's yours, because that doesn't help anybody. That doesn't bring the industry forward, right? That's my big, I'll get off my soapbox on that.
Well, I mean, talking about long game, here's something that a lot of us don't realize is in the way we think. It's how long did you think that you were going to be in this recruiting chair?
Well, that's a very, very, very strange question. When I started this in 1996, I thought it was a temporary thing. It was my first job was a contingency only draw against commission. If you know what that is, then you were part of the old school. I don't even know if that exists anymore. So I didn't get a salary. It was I got a monthly draw that I had to pay back, and then my commission was my paycheck. I thought it was going to be short term, but in 1999, when I started Job Machine, my first business, then I was like, okay, this could be the business that, this could be my business that takes me all the way into, my retirement. But that was a different business. That wasn't recruiting. That was the training and the coaching and this other stuff. So I always thought, even still today, that someday I'll stop recruiting. I haven't stopped recruiting. I've been trying to stop recruiting for 30 years, and I just haven't been able to.
I think because I've now been in the recruiting chair for over 20 years myself. I think so because so many of us just fell into this. This wasn't a designed career coming out of college, or we didn't go to college for this. I think so many of us walk into this career without realizing that we're going to spend 10 to 20 to 30 years in this chair.
Yeah, well, some of us are. I used to ask at these conferences, I used to ask the question, how many of you have been in the industry for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years? And generally speaking, most of the time, it is as a, warming up, icebreaker kind of thing. Most of the time, people, about 10% to 20% of the room would be in the post 10-year mark. So people do, if you make it past 5 years, then you'll probably be in it for 20 to 30. But most people who leave before 5 years. So it's kind of like there's this 5-year maturity period where if you quit before that, then you're doing it for another job. But if you stay after that, then you're right. It's a long-term 20 to 30 years. Are you trying to tell me that you keep trying to get out, but they keep calling?
I mean, we keep on trying to get out of
government. Trying to get out, but they pull you back in.
But it's one of those things. I think if you take a step back and you start realizing that you're actually probably going to be in the space for another decade. That changes
at this point, I hope I'm not recruiting still.
But it changes. It changes how you have conversations with hiring managers. It changes how you have conversations with your entire marketplace. It changes how you interact. Hey, I'm here for the long run. Are you?
I have been. Yeah, I've shown that it's a marathon, not a sprint.
And I think when recruiters sit back and okay, I'm actually going to be here for a while. You can make a bigger impact knowing that you're playing the long game and not just a short sprint anymore.
So knowing that, then you don't have to rush to produce all the content in one day. It's a process. It's, what'd you say, 3 times a week?
I would say at least 3 times a week.
3 times a week. That's a pretty good target. Put something out there, either yours or comment on someone else's or shine a light on someone else 3 times a week. That's a really good number. I like that. Where is it going to be though, if it isn't LinkedIn? I think it's going to be Super Carl.
I do. I definitely.
You know why? Because it's about relationships, and that's really what every new AI tool that comes out is taking us further away from building relationships and making it easier for us to not talk to people.
I think we're also. I mean, think about this. What's the valuation of Meta?
Geez, I don't even know. Hey, Claude.
I think it's over $1 trillion. Yeah.
Yep. Well, I think the market cap, you mean?
Yeah, market cap.
I think it is. Yeah, it's probably in the billions.
I think it might be over $1 trillion.
You think so? I didn't know if we had. Oh, here we go. Quarterly financials, 56 billion. Ooh, okay. Well, damn, that's great. I didn't think we had $1 trillion, but maybe we do. Do we have?
So Meta's 1.48 trillion.
1.48. Oh wow.
Trillion.
Okay. So now, how many trillion valuation companies do we have?
Probably a
small handful, right? Well, that could be 2 things. That could be the dollar's devalued to where $1 trillion doesn't mean what it used to, or or that could mean that the economy grew.
So there's 14 companies that are $1 trillion.
But that's not many. Okay. 14.
So, and 2 of them have social media platforms. They're fighting over eyeballs.
2 of them are social media platforms. Okay.
Or, one of them is Meta. Another one's LinkedIn with Microsoft. remember, like these are billions and billions of dollars are being spent on fighting for eyeballs.
Well, Google is all about eyeballs. 100%.
I mean, yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I forgot about Google.
So Google, Microsoft, Apple
Google,
kind of is too.
Google is 4.3. So literally, like
Amazon is about eyeballs too. No eyeballs, no package in the mail.
So all these companies are fighting over eyeballs.
Man, my eyeballs are valuable.
They are, but like as a recruiter out there, how do you get people to look at your eyeballs or look at you? How do you like? You have to.
How do you sell your eyeballs?
How do you sell your eyeballs? Yeah, exactly. Like I don't think like you're talking about how like Carl is going to change with relationships. No, I think like places like LinkedIn and like all these other platforms are going to be places that have the increased stickability because people want to see content.
But LinkedIn is not about relationships anymore.
It isn't. It's a content platform.
It is a content place. It is about eyeballs. It's not about relationships.
I was a few years ago. I was the recruiter. Like, oh my god, get off my grass! LinkedIn's changed. I hate it. This is so stupid. I don't want to see a selfie.
Yeah.
Hate the player. Hate the game.
Well, there was an article. That's interesting. There was an article I just read. I can't remember where it was, but it was an article about the type of person that doesn't like to post pictures of themselves. So like, there's the selfie where it's you in the situation, you in the environment, and then there's people that post about what's going on, but not them. Like it's and the article was talking about that. That's not it's not because those people are like shy or introverted or whatever necessarily. It's that they don't see the value in what they're experiencing themselves. They see the value in sharing what other people might want to know about. So like it's kind of like, I'm tasting this dish, so I share the recipe. That's that type of person that wants to share the recipe versus the ones that want to tell you about how the food tastes and they're like experiencing the food. So they're talking about the food that they're eating versus saying, hey, you should make this dish. That's kind of the two. It's like, I don't know if I'm explaining it right, but the article did a really good job of explaining it. It's two different types of social sharing. One is you're sharing with others to go and try that experience, and the other is you're describing the experience that you are having. Does that make sense?
It makes sense, and like you have to figure out what works for you.
Yeah, right. Well, one of those two might be what. Not everybody is made to share their every selfie.
Yeah, like I
can't do that.
I think I might do like one. Actually, the only time I really do is a picture wake up with somebody I haven't seen before, but I finally get to meet in real life.
Oh, this is funny. This is.
Hey, we'll save that for the comment section.
Oh man, that is the comment section on LinkedIn. No, that's on Facebook. Never mind. Okay, that's hilarious. Oh man, that's awesome. Well, listen, we are drawing close to the hour. I think we actually are on top of the hour. So, I started doing this thing where I do rapid fire questions at the end now. It's my new thing now. So last couple of episodes I've done this rapid fire. So I just want
blue.
Exactly. Right.
Pickle.
So first question, most dangerous misconception in the TA space right now?
Thinking that you're safe from AI. It's going to clean house.
Okay. Second one, what do you know now that you wish someone told you a year ago?
Build more content.
Yeah, literally. You just recap the entire episode.
Yeah, like I wish I understood now the impact of it. Like I have multiple like executive meetings because of the content I put out, even not in my space, but inbound people coming to us.
That's funny because of the content. I mean, that's not fun. I mean, that's good, but that really recaps the episode perfectly. I don't think we could end on anything worse. Yeah, people coming to you, the phone ringing, or what the virtual equivalent of that, the phone ringing because of your content and your positioning as someone who knows what they're doing because you're sharing what you're doing. That's perfect. Perfect. Awesome.
All right, what's the next one?
That was it because
man, get a hit with a harder list.
I had 5, but you just shut me down because I was like so perfect. In a good way. I was like, you're like, that's it. That's that's going to be the headline on the episode recast. So you tell me anything specific you want the audience to know right now.
Even though I suck at self-promotion, we have a AI summit kicking off July 13th. All live sessions are free. I think we have like 25 speakers.
What's the URL?
I will.
Is it AI Summit?
Let me just kind of drop it in this chat real quick.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. In the meantime, if you want show notes, they're at tsiuniversity.com. That's my community. There's no sponsorship, no paid advertising on this show. All I want people to do is join tsiuniversity.com. So please do that while we wait for this AI conference URL. There it is.
I was in the other chat trying to figure out how to add something to that chat. What was in this chat? And
I got it right here, ready to put it on here. So let's do that. And it is AI-recruiting-summit. Should be playing right now. AI-recruiting-summit-2026.heysummit.com.
I think we have like 1,100 people registered so far.
That's pretty good.
I don't know.
I guess I need to go to that.
We just have fun.
I'll be there for sure.
I don't speak at anything. I just highlight other people.
You shine a light, and makes you glow. Man, this has been awesome. I appreciate it. Let's share communities, man. You got a community. I had a community. Let's
Heck yeah. I need to get you on my podcast. Hey, real quick, somebody said something about Amy Miller's content.
Oh, let me go back to that.
I see a post in there. Let me before we drop. Amy Miller, absolutely amazing with the content, sharing exactly what she's doing. Guess what? It took her to another job. She got another position probably because she's so out there. Awesome. Perfect example of internal.
Perfect example. Yep. Perfect example. Good way to wrap things up. All right, folks. Well, thank you so much for being here. Please join us next week. If you liked this, drum roll, right?
The next speaker or the next guest will be 100 times better than me.
You know Kevin Grossman?
No, I don't, but I'm sure they would be better than me.
Well, Kevin Grossman is now part of Surveil and used to do he was the Candies, the candidate experience, and now that's all rolled up into Surveil. So it's all about like candidate experience, measurement, and things like that's pretty interesting. So we're gonna get deep into that. That's who's coming up on June 10th.
Way better conversation than listening to me ramble.
What are you talking about? Don't beat yourself up. I love this. All right, man. We'll be in touch. Thanks for listening, and folks, be kind to yourselves. Take care. Bye, everybody.